Turning now to some other stories this morning. The White House is responding to rare bipartisan blowback after a video that included a racist clip of the Obamas depicted as monkeys. That video posted on President Trump's social media account on Friday. The White House initially brushed off criticism of the video, but after a wave of backlash from his own party, from Republicans, the video was eventually taken down. It remained up on Trump's Truth Social account for around 12 hours. Several Republican lawmakers did speak out against the post. Tim Scott of South Carolina, the only black Republican in the Senate, saying the video is the, quote, most racist thing that he's seen out of the White House. President Trump responded to the backlash while on Air Force One and said he spoke with Senator Scott.
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. I guess it was a takeoff on The Lion King, and certainly it was a very strong post in terms of voter fraud. Nobody knew that that was at the end. If they would have looked, they would have seen it, and probably they would have had the sense to take it down. But that was a takeoff on The Lion King, and a lot of people were covered, in different positions. So, but I spoke to Tim Scott. He was great. Tim is a great guy. He understood that 100%.
What about the message to the many Americans who were offended by the video? What do you want to tell them?
Well, I have no message. I didn't know about it, so I mean, it went up. I really have no message. Somebody slipped and missed a very small part. Now, by the way, again, a takeoff on, I guess, I didn't do it, by the way. This was done by somebody else. This was a retruth. That was not done by us.
So despite some Republicans taking a stand, there were others who attempted to shield the president from criticism. Senator Bill Cassidy, who is facing a tough re-election
battle. This was so
battle.
pathetic. Do we have to read it?
After President Trump endorsed his opponent, actually thanked Trump for removing the video. Now,
Well, he thanked Trump for removing the video, and then Donald Trump said, I did nothing wrong.
yeah, no, refusing to admit a mistake.
Refusing to admit, I did nothing wrong. You know, it was a takeoff on The Lion King.
I've heard that.
I did nothing wrong.
And it was very strong on voter security.
Yeah.
The White House first tried defending the post, which was mostly about inaccurate claims of voter fraud.
A lie. All a lie.
Definitely a lie. Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt dismissed the backlash as fake outrage.
Yeah, bigotry on this level, not fake outrage.
Yeah.
Try again.
And it was shifting explanations. Carolyn Leavitt first dismissed it that it was, as we noted, fake outrage. Then the White House said it was a staffer accidentally put up the clip, although it's well known that only about 3 people in the White House, the president included, have access to his Truth Social account, and one of them is away on his honeymoon. And then President Trump himself owned it later and said, yeah, I did it. I perhaps didn't look at the whole thing, Rev. But let's just be clear what this is. I mean, they're trying to muddy the water here. This was an extraordinarily racist image, and it was posted by the President of the United States, and he's not going to think he did anything wrong.
And he's not going to apologize. You're dealing with a president that has trafficked, has given real potency to this kind of attitude about race in this country, and he will not back up. Many of us that have challenged him down through the years from his hometown are not surprised. But you would think that at the level he's reached, he would be a little bigger than doing something like this. I mean, this is almost childish if it wasn't so insulting. And to make up that somebody did it and some low staffer could get in there and do it and no one caught it is as ridiculous as one can see. If you say something and do something that's off color, you apologize. Joe and I have talked a lot about how Mrs. King told me, be careful of your language. You shouldn't have said that years ago. You correct it and you grow.
We've all said stupid things. We've all apologized.
Absolutely. This is not a little stupid thing.
This
is to intentionally depict the former president of the United States and the former first lady who reached the ultimate in terms of American politics.
But what is that? By the way, what does it say also? That Barack Obama now has not been in office for almost a decade.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't live rent-free in Donald Trump's head. He's got the whole presidential suite up there.
That's exactly
He's still obsessed and doing the most horrific things. I got to say also, this broke through. I mean, this finally broke through to some evangelical leaders, to some evangelical Republicans who have turned a blind eye to everything he's done. I won't say the church, but there's an evangelical church that Donald Trump has attended, that Donald Trump's been beginning of the church. The leader, the founder, the preacher all stood up and said, what happened yesterday was not right. What happened yesterday was un-American. What happened yesterday goes against everything we teach here. It was so racist, it was so bigoted that it even forced or shocked, I don't know which word should be used, evangelical leaders to step up and speak out against it.
It did force them or shock them, and I think it shocked Americans. So you have Black History Month. He's going to do this to the ultimate black couple in terms of American politics.
Right.
You're going to divide the country because you don't like the Puerto Rican ancestry of the person that's going to sing or perform at
Americans,
the Super Bowl.
by the way. Americans.
American. Born American.
More American than quite a few people I could name right now. Been in America longer than quite a few people. I mean,
it's the presidency.
We're all equally Americans, which of course they don't understand. But Bad Bunny has been an American much longer.
By birth. But it becomes a presidency of divisiveness, and I think people are getting tired of it.
Yeah.
You use birtherism to come in to politics. People are saying, wait a minute, you're dividing everybody. We're racially profiling people on deportations. But enough is enough, and I think he crystallized it with this video demeaning the Obamas for no reason.
Listen, the numbers have just collapsed in a historic manner. The Hispanics that were gained, the working Americans that were gained, the younger voters that were gained, even some male black voters, they more vote from men. That's all gone.
Right.
Not only is it gone, it's just absolutely cratered, and stuff like this is not, I just got to explain this again. This is not owning the libs, Pablo. This is not owning the libs. That would be, again, I keep saying this. It would be like hitting yourself with a ball-peen hammer in the head and going, I'm owning you. I'm going to hit myself again. These are self-inflicted wounds from which it's hard to see. Even Republicans are saying, don't know how they're going to recover. And they keep doing it to themselves. And they're thinking they're owning libs. No, if you hit yourself in the head with a hammer, you are only owning yourself. Let me say it like there will be blood. If you hit yourself with a hammer, you should put that hammer under a glass jar and put it on the mantle. But go ahead. That's my Daniel Day-Lewis.
Unexpected impression.
Yes.
That's good.
I drink your memes. I drink them up.
Yes.
But the artwork, such as it is yet again a bleep posted meme, right?
Right.
So this is the definition of drinking poison and hoping your opponent dies.
Right.
This is, I mean, it's just like you are catering
How dumb they
to
are.
the.
It's unbelievable.
It's the sub basement, the fracking level poisoned well that they're drawing from. That's the derrick atop the earth that they are mining.
Yes.
And in the process, everything else is getting poisoned. And they don't realize it. That's what's happening in Minnesota. What's happening with Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. That's what's happening on the internet, where we say it all the time now. The most Twitter-brained institution we've ever seen is this White House. And it's not connected to what anybody in normal mainstream life is even vaguely sympathetic to.
So